The world of Thedas is a complex place with a variety of races, political factions, and allegiances complicating the stories of the heroes in the Dragon Age series. Welcome back to our lore mini-series tackling the basics of the Dragon Age series. Hi, this is Rima from MEOdyssey, and today I'll be looking back at the factions of Thedas as part 2 of our lore series, following on from part 1 where we looked at the different races we can encounter in Dragon Age. Now there are a lot of different factions in Thedas, ranging from very big to very small, so to keep this list very concise, we'll be focusing on the main factions that have the most impact on the series' events. Probably having the biggest impact on Thedas and its education, spirituality, institutions, military, commerce, and laws, the Chantry is a massive component in the Dragon Age series, and is led by a female divine in the Southern Chantry and the male quote-unquote black divine in the Tevinter Imperium. The Chantry follows the teachings of Andraste, a prophet of the Maker, this world's version of God, and her teachings called the Chant of Light. The main goal of the Chantry is to spread the teachings of Andraste to all corners of Thedas, and believes once the world believes in the Chant of Light and follows it, the Maker will return to Thedas and restore the world to its former glory. This means that the Chantry itself has been involved in pushing their beliefs onto non-believers, and in particular, non-humans who do have other religions to look to, specifically the elves. Other than the restoration of the Maker, the Chantry have 3 other main teachings, including believing that magic is a corrupting force, that it was humanity's pride that led to the corruption of the Golden City and led to the creation of the Darkspawn, and that Andraste was the bride and prophet to the Maker and was killed for her beliefs. These teachings are what sculpt the Chantry's actions in Thedas, for example, why they control magic through the Circular Magi and the Templar Order, and why the Southern Chantry mainly solely has women priests due to Andraste being a woman. Other than a few men in lower hierarchy and the exemption of the Chantry in Tevinter, most priests are women. As stated earlier, the Chantry itself holds a significant amount of influence, from moving the hands of ruling parties, settling laws, and in extremes, bringing upon an exalted march, which is basically a religiously sanctioned crusade or purge that sends the armies of faithful upon whoever the divine considers an enemy. In the past, the exalted march has moved against Tevinter, the Qunari, and most devastatingly, the Elven people. Seen as mage hunters, Templars are the militaristic arm of the Chantry, who are tasked with protecting the divine and the Chantry itself. However, the Order's primary role has been to safeguard against magical corruption, which means acting as guards of the Circular Magi and hunting down those who have run away from the Circle, known as apostates. Highly skilled and trained, Templars swear an oath of undivided loyalty to the Chantry and train religiously while serving, learning the Chant of Light, honing their skills, and even isolating themselves from society as they do so, creating a sense of withdrawal from those outside the Templar ranks. Relationships with their mage charges and others around them is highly discouraged due to it being seen as a distraction from their duties. Templars do have some form of quote-unquote magical abilities that allow them to rein in magical corruption. This is done by closing off the Fade to mages and demons by basically, quote, declaring the world real. Templar abilities are fueled by lyrium that they ingest, which help them gain an immunity to magic. However, it can be highly addictive and damaging to their psyche, especially if they go through withdrawal, meaning even though they're retiring, a Templar will always be tied to the Order. With their headquarters in the White Spire in Val Ryo, Templars partly govern themselves in their individual branches that are led by a Knight Commander and seconded by a Knight Captain. Ultimately, the Templars follow the Chantry directions. The Watchers of the Watchmen, the Seekers of Truth, serve only the divine and are entrusted with watching over the Templar Order to ensure they do not overstep their boundaries. Acting as an internal police force, if you will, the Seekers are also involved in investigations within the Chantry and also do hunt apostates, but only ones that are thought to be highly dangerous or cunning. Though they share similar duties to the Templars, Seekers do not ingest lyrium, but in fact have additional abilities to the Templars, such as the immunity to be possessed, mind control, and Seekers that can even cause lyrium in the blood of those who have it, such as Templars and mages, to have the lyrium set alight within their blood that can kill a person. These abilities are gained through rigorous rituals. Though Seekers aren't seated any higher than the Templars, senior Seekers can overrule the Templars, and most of the Templar Order consider Seekers as an interfering group that are just there to punish and investigate them, leading to a lack of trust between the two groups. Though not technically part of the Chantry, the Circular Magi is basically monitored and regulated by the Chantry using the Templar Order. The Circle is the main organization in Thedas that teaches, guides, and to some, imprisons mages. The Chantry states that any person from any creed, even from infancy, can be taken away from their families if they show signs of being susceptible to magic. These people are taken to the Circle where they are trained to control and harness their abilities, but are forbidden from leaving. These initiates also have their blood drawn and stored in case they escape, allowing for Templars to track them using their blood. Ultimately, a mage will go through a harrowing, which is a ritual where they ingest lyrium and enter the Fade, forcing them to face off against a demon who wants to possess them. Either they will overcome the demon or they'll be possessed, which will lead them to be killed by Templars. If they manage to successfully go through their harrowing, the mage will become a fully fledged member of the Circle of Magi. Mages can also choose to go through the Rite of Tranquility if they do not wish to go through their harrowing. Becoming tranquil strips one of their connection to the Fade, which removes their dreams, their personality, and their ability to be possessed. Seen as a fate worse than death to most mages, tranquility is also used as a punishment for mages who do not follow Chantry doctrine. Though the Circle does protect mages from possession, many mages see the Circle as a prison as they lose their possession, are forced to leave their families, and are confined to the tower. Life in the Circle can also lead to contentions with Templars who are tasked with guarding them, which has led to definite conflicts within the series. Mages are forbidden from entering relationships with other mages and Templars in their circles, however relationships do occur. Any child born from these unions are deemed children of the Chantry and then are taken away from their parents, and are sometimes even taken to another circle depending on their magical ability. In Tevinter, however, the Circle of Magi is voluntary and even prestigious, as mages are highly respected in their society. In addition to this, relationships aren't restricted, as those born with magical ability are more desirable. However, blood magic in Tevinter is much more freely used, increasing the dangers of abominations and possessions. From this list of factions, the Grey Wardens are probably the most independent from the Chantry, and are most crucial to the story of Dragon Age. The Wardens primarily focus on defending Thedas from the Darkspawn. Due to the risk of their occupation and their reduced life expectancy, Wardens do not discriminate and accept anyone regardless of race, gender, religion, and magical prowess, which makes the Wardens the most diverse group in Thedas. They're also known for accepting criminals who wish to redeem themselves, much like the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones. However, their joining ritual definitely culls recruits, leading to only the few chosen skilled joining the Order. Led by the first Warden at Weishaupt Fortress in the Anderfels, the Wardens were originally formed as a group of veteran warriors who fought against the First Blight. Since then, their order has grown, however still remains small and spread out compared to other forces in Thedas. Though being a Warden is a great honour, their link to the Blight can significantly reduce their lifespans, and of course they're tasked to fight the Blight. This means that they don't get a huge amount of recruits. So the treaties the Wardens have allow them to conscript individuals, especially during the Blights when Wardens are highly sought after. There's a lot of history and lore that goes into the Grey Wardens, which we'll cover in a future video. Led by the Inquisitor, the Inquisition was initially born after the First Blight to protect Thedas from magical corruption, blood magic, and heretics, which was seen after the Exalted March on Tevinter. The First Inquisition itself actually spawned the original Templar Order and the Seekers of Truth. This occurred when the newly formed Chantry came to an agreement with the Inquisition to allow it to become the military arm of the Chantry in the form of the Templar Order and the Seekers of Truth. Originally seen linked to the Divine, the reformed Inquisition from Dragon Age Inquisition broke away from the Chantry after the breach due to disagreements in how to handle the impending threat. Though seemingly a neutral party, the reformed Inquisition seems to have followed the same criticisms as their ancestors. For example, they're seen to be outside of the law and out of control of any ruling party and organization, and in some parts have angered many due to their more lenient views on magic. So there are just some of the big heavy hitters in the Dragon Age series, from the strict religious control from the Chantry to the mages in Thedas. It's quite easy to see why certain conflicts have come to head in the game series. But what are your thoughts on the different big players in Thedas? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and please share this video to help the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.